getting ready to get on the cruise ship, which, look at it, it looks so big, but it's actually a lot smaller than what it appears to be when you actually get on to the boat. I don't recall what dock, what port we left from. I think it was the one in Fort Lauderdale. That's probably not right. I don't recall. I don't remember. On the first cruise, we got a nice, grand, warm welcome, and ever since then, I'd always expect for us to have a nice entrance, but instead we got an entrance like this. Awesome. We're on the boat. First thing you do, you head up to your room. Your luggage comes later. Our room's placed on the 6th deck. I think there's like 12 decks on this boat, so we always had to walk down this long hallway to get to it, and I'm gonna fast forward through that now. We got it.
Wait,
yeah, it's right here.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Bam, it worked.
Do it.
And here's our room. It was myself, Dan, Sammy in a room, the buoys in a room, and then my parents in a room. Every room looked like this one. It had 2 beds. We eventually got like a cot, smaller bed for Sammy. Every room had this window, deceiving window looking thing, and every room had a bathroom at the entrance with a super flushing toilet, a shower that had very, very hot water, enough that they had to warn you to touch the water because you could burn yourself, and they weren't lying because the water got that hot. So after we dropped our carry-on off in our room, we headed to the elevators up to the 10th deck, which was very interestingly named Lido. The actual lunchroom was named Panorama Bar and Grill. This was the main eating area, the buffet area, the area where they served food around the clock. So you had the back, which was like a sandwich station. You know, there's always a chef back there to make you a sandwich. The middle had fruits and vegetables and yogurt, I think, something of that sort. And then the entrance had whatever plate or dish they were serving for that day. I had fish and eggplant, and then beefaroni, and after we ate the lunch, we decided to take a self-guided tour around the boat. smoke from the smokestack means that we are setting sail and we're departing. And we were inconveniently departing around within about a 15-minute range of us actually having dinner. It was a nice night. It was, you know, at sunset, so it was a good time. And here we are at one of the dining rooms. We had a little dining room dinner conflict because when they give us our room keys, they also assign us one of two dining rooms, and we were assigned separately from the buoys. We tried to get it so we could sit together, but it just didn't work out. So we decided to go with our own. And I made a joke here about how it would be interesting if we were seated next to two hot girls, but instead we were seated next to these two guys, which I can turn right here, Ritesh and Colin, who were, you know, together. Nice guys. Here's the menu. They have stuff on the left that they serve every day, you know, your chickens and your hamburgers, and then on the right they have the specials for the day. This first evening wasn't the best, actually probably was the worst. I had escargot for appetizers, and then I had the fish, which was bad except for the macaroni on the side, and then I had a chocolate cake for dessert. After dinner we headed back to the room, and then the boat was rocking like this. Oh my gosh, we're underwater. It's not really, it's just terrible image slave position. Anyways, here's our first towel. It's a seal. This is Sammy's bed, which we found kind of funny because it just looks pathetic. But it was just as comfortable as ours, just lower. So it was late, we decided to see what we could do, what was still open around the boat to do. We went to the top deck, which was extremely windy.
Damn, man.
The pool is lit at night, which is awesome, but nobody's going in it. I think it's heated anyways, but nobody was in there. We wanted to play ping pong, but they put away the paddles. They don't check out the paddles like past 8 o'clock. So Dan and Sammy decided to play chess instead. Headed back down from the top deck and went to our gallery. I don't think we planned to, we just kind of ran into it. And while you may be asking why it's unoccupied, I think there was a worker at the end of the hallway to make sure nobody messes with the paintings too much. And I did recognize a lot of paintings from the original like art auction that we went to on our first cruise. Afterwards, we went to play arguably the worst board game, Clue, and it's terrible for the sole reason that there are many more ways to lose than there are to win, and of course, when the game is set up like that, none of us won.
In the dining room.
So we were packing it in for the night. The movie was playing, or TV was playing. I think we were just watching TV, no movie that night. We ordered room service, which we got a lot more than what we bargained for. It was really nice.
Bam! Gourmet PB and J with the chips. Bam! Look at the ham sandwich, yo. What? Alright.
That wraps up day one.